Hi friends, Krista here. Thanks for stopping by Books and Jams. Today is Booklist Thursday, and in December I joined Sarah from Sarah's Nightstand and Lindsey from Lindsey's Little Library in some of their Booklist Thursday weekly videos that they do. Each week they take a topic, sometimes a topic recommended by you guys, always a bookish topic, and they give you a list of books or bookish things. In December I joined them, and one of the videos we did in December was Kindle 5-star predictions. So I chose 3 books from my Kindle that I thought might be 5-star predictions. I am going to tell you today what I thought about those 3 books. I often don't read on my Kindle, which is why I only chose 3 instead of 5. I think the other girls chose 5. I will link their channels down below so you can go ahead and be sure to check out their follow-up from the 5-star predictions and see what they thought about the books that they read. But I'm going to tell you about the 3 books that I read on my Kindle. I, like I said, barely ever read on my Kindle, but I did choose 3 of the books that are on there, and I read them, and I'm going to tell you now. I just repeated myself. The first book that I read on my Kindle over the last couple months was Walking in the Dust of Rabbi Jesus, and I actually DNF'd this book. I was very excited about this Christian nonfiction book that I was expecting to read about the life of Jesus and how his words and the times that he lived in, how the time and culture that Jesus lived would have impacted the things that he said. And that is a little bit what I got. I just felt very disconnected to it and was just never motivated to pick it up. It definitely focused a lot on linguistics, and the part that I read, we went through 2 or 3 different phases, like Hear, O Israel, the Lord thy God is one, like the beginning of the 10 Commandments. It talked about love the Lord your God with all your heart, soul, mind, and strength, and what that would have meant in Jesus's day and Bible times. So there were aspects of it that I was enjoying, but because, number one, I don't think I should read nonfiction on a Kindle. I needed to underline and highlight things, and I think just in general, I feel a little bit more disconnected to the book, especially in nonfiction when I can't mark it up in some way. So that was not the book's fault. That was my preference fault. So I ended up just DNFing it because I just never was excited to pick it up. I actually was not looking forward to picking it up. I was making myself read it here and there, and I just decided, no, if I ever do read this book, which I might still at some point want to finish this book, but I will try to find a hard copy of it. I just wasn't into it. And I think that's kind of going to be the case for the other 2 as well. The other 2 are both war stories. I'll talk first about the one that I just finished because it's World War I. It happens first, and that was In Love and War. This is by Liz Trunow, and I just actually finished this the other day. And this one I'm giving 3 stars to. This takes place just after World War I. In this one we follow 3 different women, each of whom travels to Belgium in search of a lost man in their lives. So there's one woman from England who is going in search of her husband. She's a young newlywed whose husband went off to war. Their family loses any kind of contact with him, and he's presumed dead. He's missing in action. So she goes to try to see if she can find his grave or find out more information about him. The same with a woman in America. She comes to Belgium looking for her younger brother, and they have also lost contact with him, and they don't know anything about his story and what happened with him. And then we also follow a young German mother. Actually, she might be a little older because her son died in the war, and she goes with her 12-year-old son to go try to find his grave. She poses as a Swiss woman because in Belgium, right after the war, they are very anti-Germans. And so we see that play out a little bit as people are very suspicious of her. I did enjoy this book. I did find it interesting to see these 3 women's perspectives and imagine what it might have been like following a war to not have information about your loved ones. And we see them go right to the battlefields where there are crosses with names on them, and they're going in search of their loved ones. We see in Belgium we get a little taste of the food and the sights and what life was like immediately following World War I. So there were aspects of this book that I really did enjoy, and I did finish it. I think if I had read it in a print version, it might be 4 stars, but again, I just felt disconnected from the characters. Although this one did make me tear up a little, so if I did have stars, it might be 3.5, but I don't. So I'm still gonna keep it at 3. I enjoyed it. It just wasn't my favorite war novel. The third book that I predicted would be a 5-star read based on its ratings. I should say that all 3 of these, I picked them because they're the 3 highest rated books on my Kindle, according to Goodreads. So the third one that I read is called The Paris Secret, and this is a World War II historical fiction. It has a lot of things that I thought I would really enjoy. The main setting is in a bookshop. Love. We do have dual timelines, which I really enjoy. It actually almost has a 3rd timeline. It was relatively short. I got through this one pretty quickly, but I again gave this one just 3 stars, which is fine. I enjoyed it. I liked it. It was okay. It takes place in Paris, obviously, The Paris Secret. We follow this young woman named Valerie. Kind of at the beginning and the end, we're bookended by these 2 women in a train, but then the main story happens in the middle part of the book, and there are dual timelines within that book, but we follow Valerie, this young woman who sees an ad in the paper to be an assistant at a bookshop in Paris, and she applies for this position and gets it. And she is in particular interested in this position because she believes the man who owns the bookshop is her grandfather, who sent her away during the war, and she wants to know why and what happened. She was thinking she was unwanted and kind of being rejected by him, so she wants to find out the truth of the story. So she makes up a story, does not tell him at first who she really is. And so the main part of the story is finding out what happened during wartime and what is happening now as Valerie and her grandfather get to know each other, and they kind of build a bond without him knowing really who she is, and then her trying to figure out how to come clean basically about who she is. So I did enjoy it. It was fine. It was okay. It was good. Guys, I just think I don't prefer to read on a Kindle. It's a handy thing, and I'm thankful to own one. Mine is a Fire, so it's not fancy. I don't have the Paperwhite, so it is kind of bright, but it is a nice tool to have when you want to read in bed, or if you're traveling and you don't want to bring 15 books. So I'm thankful to have a Kindle, but it's just not my preferred method of reading. There you have it. Those are my 5-star predictions. I will probably do another 5-star prediction series coming up soon. I'm glad I didn't wait a year like I did with the last ones, but I would love for you to check out Lindsey and Sarah's channels down below and see what they thought about the books they read, and leave me any comments about these 3 books that I read. If you've read them, did you agree with my decisions about them? Or anything else that you want to chat about. You guys know I love talking with you down in the comments. Give this video a big thumbs up if you liked it. Subscribe if you haven't already. Hit the little bell so you know when I'm going to have another video. And I will talk to you in another video very soon. Bye.